Once again, the year in gaming has seen no shortage of high-quality releases and Game of the Year contenders. As we approach the halfway point of 2026, here are the best games of the year so far.
Brought to you by Xbox.
Can represents a new peak for mountain climbing games as it fuses a vivid sense of wonder with a feeling of true peril. It's you against the world as you guide the protagonist Ava up steep cliffs and search for that one handhold that won't spell certain doom when you shift your weight. With equilibrium being a key component of the experience, Cairn also knows exactly when to let players breathe, offering moments of quiet reflection as a counterbalance to when you hit a metaphorical and literal wall on your ascent. Diablo expansions are a big deal, as these add-ons have given rise to some of the best moments in the franchise. Lord of Hatred can proudly stand shoulder to shoulder with Lord of Destruction and Reaper of Souls, as it brings fantastic quality of life improvements, 2 new classes that make you feel like a powerhouse, and a thrilling narrative to the table. Diablo 4's Hatred Saga comes to a satisfying conclusion, while the new Warlock and Paladin classes offer explosive fun honed by major changes to the core gameplay. What happens when you combine a tabletop Dungeons & Dragons session with Disco Elysium? You get Esoteric Ebb, a charming fantasy game where sweat-inducing die rolls govern your fate. Set in an original fantasy world that's brimming with personality, Esoteric Ebb is charming and surprisingly hilarious, as you don the chainmail of an idiot with a talent for magic. All that and a killer soundtrack. Marathon is admittedly a lot to take in the first time you boot it up, but stick with it and you'll find an extraction shooter that captures the highs and lows of the genre. Its art direction is a visual feast, the gunplay packs a punch, and there's a surprising amount of depth in each 20-minute excursion to Tau Ceti 4. How Marathon will shape up over the long term remains to be seen, but Bungie has delivered an exciting game with strong fundamentals, rich lore, and tactical gameplay that could get even better in time with post-launch DLC drops.
Do not worry. Peace is upon you.
All the joy of breeding an army of cats with none of the real-life responsibility of spending a fortune on food and kitty litter. Mewgenics is a challenging experience with unparalleled depth. The Binding of Isaac and the End is Nigh developers Edmund McMillan and Tyler Glael have delivered a complex game, balancing the joy of managing an ever-growing collection of cats with the nail-biting, just one more run energy you'd expect from the best roguelites. Now that it's finally out of the gate, Mina the Hollower is proving that it is well worth the wait. A masterclass in design that combines the retro aesthetics of Game Boy era Zelda games with Souls-like gameplay. Mina the Hollower is a love letter to the path that feels refreshingly modern. Developer Yacht Club Games has come out swinging with an ambitious game, one that's densely packed with content and charm, while demanding combat ensures that your attention never drifts away for a single second. This year is going to go down as one of the best for video games with a music bend, thanks in part to standout titles like Mixtape. A sincere look at the horrors of growing up from Australian developers Beethoven and Dinosaur, Mixtape also features one of the best soundtracks of the year so far. Music and memories collide in grand fashion, and the end result is a heartfelt coming-of-age story. Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection proves just how good a spin-off from a mainline series of games can be, as this charming threequel checks multiple boxes for a great gaming experience. A compelling story, a colorful cast of characters, and a flashy combat system all add up to build an all-time classic Monster Hunter game, successfully standing tall next to several of the best games in the main Monster Hunter franchise. Team Ninja's Souls-like Neo games have established themselves as fast-paced and punishing adventures. Neo 3 doesn't stray from that established formula, but it does add compelling new additions and refinements that sharpen the experience. With the introduction of open field design that adds more exploration and discovery to the mix, quality of life enhancements, and rock-solid combat, Neo 3 is the best game in the series to date and Team Ninja at its best. The idea of a Pokemon-themed cozy life sim sounds like an interesting idea for a spin-off, and it's one that has been expertly realized in Pokemon Pokopia. A well-executed combination of the design sensibilities of Animal Crossing and Dragon Quest builders, with some Viva Pinata inspiration for good measure, Pokemon Pokopia is an elegant celebration of the Pokemon franchise's 30th anniversary. One of 2026 contenders for Game of the Year, Pragmata is a refreshingly original IP in an ocean of sequels and remakes. It's no one-trick pony, as the constantly evolving hacking minigames, challenging gameplay that only escalates the more you play, and the heartfelt story make for a standout experience on PC and console. Housemarque knows a thing or two about roguelite bullet hell adventures that keep you glued to the screen, and Saros builds on Returnal's foundation to deliver a rollercoaster of fun and challenge. While it's not as unforgiving as Returnal, prepare to die and try again as you master the exquisitely aggressive gameplay of Saros. The game successfully flips Housemarque's roguelite formula on its head, and the result is an intoxicating rush of power when the stars align. With Hitman developer IO Interactive at the helm, 007 First Light is a showcase of the studio's greatest strengths. From intricate world building to top-tier stealth, the first James Bond adventure in many years shares a lot of DNA with Agent 47, but it also breaks free from those comparisons by excelling in other gameplay areas. A game that's laser-focused on delivering a tightly constructed story complemented by rough-and-tumble action, precision shooting, and an arsenal of one-liners. 007 First Light is a successful and confident reinvention of Bond for the modern era.
Issues with authority.
I believe it's more a case of authority having issues with me.
What happens when Super Mario meets The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? You get Big Hops, one of the first great games of 2026. A 3D platformer with plenty of charm and heart, Big Hops keeps things simple and polished as it confidently hops into vibrant worlds. That makes it an approachable game for all ages, and with its well-executed gameplay, it's a constantly satisfying adventure.
How am I gonna get home?
Forza Horizon 6 doesn't stray from the formula it has been fine-tuning since 2012, but it didn't need to either. Instead, Forza Horizon's tour of Japan is a celebration of car culture that is constantly rewarding and looks as good as a $1 million supercar. Forza Motorsport's open-world spin-off has become Microsoft's champion racing game franchise, and this new entry in the series is firing on all cylinders, with its mix of fast cars, wild showdown races, and intelligently designed systems that complement the racing experience. Batman is no stranger to the world of LEGO, having headlined several games in the past, but this new entry featuring the Dark Knight is more than just a toy box of destructible environments and cheeky humor. It's a celebration of the Caped Crusader's rich legacy, and it plays like the Arkham sequel fans have been waiting over a full decade for. Full of heart and charm, LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight keeps your eyes glued to the bat screen, with enjoyable gameplay, Easter eggs, and a playful take on the beloved Gotham vigilante.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses on, would ya?
Mario has developed into quite the sportsman over the years, and Mario Tennis Fever might just be his best athletic adventure yet. While the core mechanics of Mario Tennis remain largely unchanged, it's the fun and flexible Fever rackets that serve up some great content and add a layer of unpredictability to every match. Alongside the enjoyable adventure mode, challenges, and special game types, Mario Tennis Fever is a Grand Slam winner for Switch 2 owners. With a game like Mouse P.I. for Hire, looks do matter, and those looks are an exquisite throwback to the rubber hose design of classic cartoons wrapped up in a film noir aesthetic. Not just a visually engaging adventure, Mouse P.I. for Hire also flexes some beefy gameplay muscles, with kinetic gunplay and weapons that deliver some gloriously slick slapstick violence.
It burns, it burns!
Planet of Lana 2 Children of the Leaf sticks to the winning formula of the first game, giving players a beautiful world to explore and savor thanks to its strong art direction and fantastic soundtrack. While it takes a while for the story to truly get going, the second half of this adventure is a bold and stunning collection of fascinating puzzles and platforming, all built around a central mystery that keeps you hooked to your screen. Critics of the Little Nightmares co-op horror game series say that the terror of the original game has been somewhat muted in its sequels, and if you feel the same way, then you will want to check out Reanimal. It more than lives up to the legacy of Little Nightmares, as this spiritual successor surpasses it with a game design that makes exploring a haunting and unsettling world quite enjoyable, especially with a co-op partner in tow. While its puzzles aren't too challenging, it's the unsettling imagery that leaves a lasting impression as you guide siblings through a nightmarish world and toward freedom. Imagine Resident Evil's greatest hits bundled into one delightfully macabre package, and you've got Resident Evil Requiem, a highlight reel of the heart-pounding horror and action that has defined the series for 30 years. Requiem refines the formula behind the games and polishes it with small but thoughtful gameplay additions to create a gorgeously gruesome experience. Roguelike deck builders feel like an oversaturated genre these days, but Vampire Survivors developer Ponkel puts a fresh spin on the genre with a spin-off game that's hard to put down. Capturing all the magic of its breakout hit Bullet Heaven game and reimagining it as an approachable deck builder that gets better with each run, don't be too surprised if the just one more turn energy of Vampire Crawlers keeps you awake way past your bedtime. Midnight is the 11th expansion for World of Warcraft, and it continues to make major foundational changes to Blizzard's legendary MMO. With enough content to cater to both veteran players and newcomers, Midnight builds on that momentum with challenging endgame activities, welcome overhauls to the user interface, and a robust housing system that gives you the opportunity to turn a slice of Xeroth into a dream home. WWE 2K26 doesn't offer many changes to the bread and butter gameplay of previous releases, but this year's entry in the sports entertainment series does address a long list of issues. The focus on quality of life improvements make each match feel more fun than ever before, thanks to the added layer of polish, while new match types, a story mode focused on CM Punk, and an overhauled island mode put WWE 2K26 in the main event spotlight. Any spiritual successor to Disco Elysium certainly has its work cut out for it, and while Zero Parades for Dead Spies doesn't quite reach that benchmark, it's still a powerhouse spy thriller full of interesting ideas. Featuring razor-sharp writing and fascinating characters, Zero Parades is a clandestine tale of espionage with rich RPG systems that encourage you to fail upwards. And those are GameSpot's best games of 2026 so far. What did we miss? Let us know in the comments, and for coverage around the rest of the games yet to release in 2026, stay right here on GameSpot.